welcome back to the Expansion Pack, where we talk about video games, comic books, anime, and more. I'm Andy.
And I'm Reagan. Let's get into the news.
Remember that game, Skyrim, that consumed 40 to 60 hours of the average gamer's life in 2011?
My life.
Her life. Well, it's back for round 2. Thanks to the modding team that brought us the Beyond the Skyrim project, the creative team of modders just released their newest teaser trailer, showcasing the group's next audacious venture remastering an Elder Scrolls fan favorite, Morrowind. Ooh. The trailer released Sunday and depicts nostalgic landscapes any hardcore Elder Scrolls fan will recognize. The new mod is projected to cover the entirety of Morrowind, actually giving the player more of a map than was in the original game of the same title. Morrowind was announced after the success of the project's first launch, Beyond Skyrim Bruma. The project's ultimate goal is to remaster the entirety of Tamriel in the Skyrim game engine, allowing the player to traverse the magical land at their leisure. There hasn't been an official launch date announced yet, so the Dragonborn will be stuck in the frozen tundra for a little while longer.
Hopefully not too much longer.
Not too long.
An Illinois judge is taking parental controls into his own hands after a 16-year-old made a threat to a local Chicago high school.
Nope.
The teen, whose name is being withheld, posted a video on Snapchat of an undisclosed violent video game with the caption, "Y'all need to shut up about school shootings or I'll do one." Not the best.
Don't be posting things like that.
Not a good idea. The teen was quickly brought in for questioning and his home was searched for weapons. Police were unable to find any firearms on the teen's property, and they ultimately dismissed the credibility of the threat. However, the teen, who claims the post was a joke, responding to comments surrounding another threat that was closed the school a week earlier, faces serious legal repercussions. The judge assigned to the case charged the teen with 2 counts of felony disorderly conduct. But that's not all. The judge ruled that the teen must also turn over his cell phone and is forbidden from playing violent video games. When the decision was handed down, the judge told the teen to play all the Mario Kart you want, which honestly makes me more violent than violent video games.
Very, very true. And that kid's very stupid. I don't know. But the next entry in the Garden Warfare spin-off series may have been revealed by an online retailer. Amazon has a listing for Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare Volume 2, a comic book that plans to connect Garden Warfare 2 with Garden Warfare 3. Thing is, we have had no word on Garden Warfare 3 until now. However, we're sure the anticipation in Plants vs. Zombies fans is high. Garden Warfare 2 was released in February 2016 and saw positive reviews from critics and fans for its significant improvements in comparison to its predecessor. The third-person shooter introduced new classes, new game modes, and an interactive hub world that kept players coming back for more. On top of that, there were daily challenges, mystery events, and a massive update known as the Trials of Nomus. We can only guess that Garden Warfare 3 will have an official reveal come E3 2018 in June, which I hope we get to do like a live event of that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. David Jaffe, creator of PlayStation exclusives Twisted Metal and God of War, has been forced to shut down his own studio. The Bartlett Jones Supernatural Detective Agency recently went through layoffs after an unannounced game was canceled. Jaffe stated the following: "We had a cool game going with a publisher, and as that game is no longer happening, and since all of our funding came from publishers, we just couldn't keep the place going. It was a fantastic ride, however. I still loved our team and loved working with that crew and remain crazy proud of what we created with Drawn to Death. Excited to see where we all land after what has been one of the very best working experiences of my career thus far." Since it was founded, Bartlett Jones released one game, Drawn to Death, which saw a lukewarm reception with reviewers giving the arena shooter 4 or 5 out of 10 stars. The future of the third-person arena shooter is unknown, but now might be a good time to try the game out for yourself before the servers close. We wish Jaffe and all of his team the best of luck.
It's kind of sad.
I know.
I don't like seeing people just give up on their dreams, kind of. That's what it feels like, the way that he made it sound. But due to recent tragedy of the Parkland shooting, President Trump has taken a stance against violent video games. And here are his thoughts.
Look at the internet, because a lot of bad things are happening to young kids and young minds, and their minds are being formed. And we have to do something about maybe what they're seeing and how they're seeing it, and also video games. I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts. And then
The Entertainment Software Association, which acts as the lobbyist for the video game industry, issued the following statement in response to what he said. The same video games played in the US are played worldwide. However, the level of gun violence is exponentially higher in the US than in other countries. Numerous authorities have examined the scientific record and found there is no link between the media content and real-life violence. The US video game industry has a long history of partnering with parents and more than 20 years of rating video games through the Entertainment Software Rating Board. We take great steps to provide tools to help players and parents make informed entertainment decisions. At the time of both statements, the ESA had not received an invitation to meet with the president until this past Monday. It is now confirmed that President Trump will be discussing violent video games with the ESA tomorrow, March 8th, 2018. Oh, Trump.
We'll see how that goes.
Yep, we will.
If you're a big fan of fighting games, or more specifically, Smash Bros-like games, chances are you've been playing the free-to-play game Brawlhalla. Well, you might be excited or disappointed to know that developer Blue Mammoth Games has been acquired by Ubisoft. This could be considered a healthy acquisition for Ubisoft, considering Brawlhalla is one of the most popular fighting games on Steam and PlayStation Network. However, this isn't a big surprise, as Ubisoft has expressed a huge interest in live service titles lately. Does this mean Brawlhalla has increased its lifespan? Could we be getting guest characters from other Ubisoft franchises? It'll be interesting to see if Ubisoft will begin heavily influencing Brawlhalla or leave it be. Although chances are this may not be the only acquisition the publisher will make this year.
Have you played Brawlhalla?
I have not.
I have, and it just makes me want to play Smash. No offense to Brawlhalla. So maybe Ubisoft can bring their own flair to it, if not. PlayStation Plus is going through some major changes if you are primarily a PS3 and PS Vita owner. You might be disappointed to know that the next year will be your last chance to grab free games every month. PlayStation has announced that they will be phasing out PS3 and Vita titles in favor of a bigger focus on PS4. Starting on March 8, 2019, PlayStation Plus will only include games from the PS4 library. Part of this decision has come from the PS4's domination in the console market, with 73.6 million PS4 consoles being sold by the end of 2017.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. No other changes will be made to PlayStation Plus terms and conditions, and PS4 owners will continue to get their 2 free games every month after this transitions.
Tony Hawk has tweeted about the current state of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. From the looks of it, fans have been asking him about the remasters of the older titles. Hawk tweeted the following: "To anyone asking me to remaster old games or complaining about THPS servers being down, Activision owns the THPS license, but I am no longer working with them. I had the skills or the authority to reboot servers or to code the games for newer systems on my own. I would be happy to." The last entry in the Pro Skater franchise was in 2015, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 received scathing reviews for its buggy, unfinished state. It was bad.
It was bad. It makes me sad.
It rhymes. The fact that Hawk is no longer working with Activision implies that the Pro Skater series may as very well be dead. However, in early 2017, he revealed that he is working on something new. "I'm potentially working on something, but it's so early I couldn't talk about it. I don't have any contracts signed, but it's exciting. I feel like it's with the right people, so I should know more in the next couple months." The Pro Skater series might be dead, but it seems Hawk might be working on a spiritual successor, maybe?
Maybe I played every Tony Hawk game and I would really like this.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I love you,
do that.
With the blowout that was Battlefront 2 and its loot box controversy, EA is on incredibly thin ice, you know.
Or hot water.
Whichever element you want to go with. They aren't kicking the year off too strong either, with announcing the return of microtransactions into Battlefront 2. However, it's recently been revealed that a new Battlefield game will be released this year, supposedly taking place in World War II. A source reports to Kotaku's Jason Schreier that the allegedly named Battlefront 5 will have a loot box system, but instead of pay-to-win mechanics, cosmetics items will be integrated, given the amount of heat loot boxes and microtransactions have. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how the new Battlefield will fare in the market. By release, it will have been close to a year since Battlefront 2 had its disastrous launch. Will players have a cool head by then? Will EA have better control of itself this year? The future seems unclear. It's cosmetic, I'm not too upset.
Not too worried.
But, so that's all we have for this news and for this week, but stay tuned for Matt and his comic segment.
Stick around.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Do you like sports? Do you like reading about sports? Then we got a sports blog just for you. Stay on my peripherals. That's not fun. Hitting the field.
The first student-run sports blog.
For sports fans.
By sports fans.
See, it's all about the product shot.
Where do you want me to stand?
Don't talk though. I want them to see the hole.
Hitting the field. We cover football. We cover basketball. And so much more. He's out.
By sports reporters. And Meech.
What up? Watch the show and read the sports blog. Hitting.
Field.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Expansion Pack's Comic News. I'm Matthew Salavaria. Let's get started. Our first story today particularly concerns the multiverse of DC and Marvel. It seems DC and Marvel now share a multiverse. In the recently released Marvel Infinity Countdown Prime one-shot, we see a piece of the Infinity Stone in the hands of many different people that have held the title of Captain Marvel from the multiverse. Yet, right next to Marvel's original Captain Marvel, we see cut off in the panel a familiar looking character that has held the title of Captain, but not from the original Marvel multiverse canon. No, viewers, your eyes don't deceive you. That is DC's Shazam, who originally went by the name of Captain Marvel before DC's New 52 relaunch in 2011. Most readers saw this just as Marvel poking fun at DC. But the next week in Action Comics issue number 998, we see Booster Gold talking to his AI, Sheeks, jokingly calling him Alfred. Sheeks didn't like this much, so we see Booster respond with, "Not like I can call you Jarvis, whole other timeline." Is this a sign that we could be getting an epic crossover? There is one famous writer with significant power in the industry that could make this happen, and he is Brian Michael Bendis. We previously reported on Bendis' move to DC from Marvel and taking over Action Comics from the current writer. At Emerald City Comic Con, Bendis was asked if his move from Marvel to DC increased his chance of DC/Marvel crossover. He responded with, "Should there be one? Absolutely. Do I want to do it? Absolutely." He continued with, "It comes down to Disney and Warner Brothers." Last time DC and Marvel crossed over was in a 4-issue DC vs. Marvel miniseries in 1996. Well, that ends our crossover-themed news for the week. Now to our pull list for today. We have Mr. Miracle number 5, Batman number 42, Green Arrow number 38, She-Hulk number 163, Justice League number 40, Amazing Spider-Man number 797, Avengers number 683, Hawkeye number 16, and Jughead the Hunger number 4. That's all for today's comic news. We'll be back with more of the Expansion Pack right after this. Stick around.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Do you like sports? Do you like reading about sports? Then we got a sports blog just for you. Stay on my peripherals. That's not fun. Hitting the field.
The first student-run sports blog.
For sports fans.
By sports fans.
See, it's all about the product shot.
Where do you want me to stand?
Don't talk though. I want them to see the whole.
Hitting the field. We cover football. We cover basketball. And so much more.
He's out. By sports reporters and Meech.
What up? Watch the show and read the sports blog. Hitting
the field.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Expansion Pack. My name is Reagan and I'm your host for this segment on comic books. We're talking about reboots and whether there's been too many of them with Marvel. Here is my wonderful panel for the day. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, y'all.
I'm Jackson.
Jackson. Oh, sorry. I'm Andy. You all know me.
I'm Matt. I was just on before.
Okay.
I'm the only new one.
Well, welcome on. It's great to
How
have
you doing,
you.
sir?
Okay. So we are going to go ahead and get down to the nitty-gritty of it. Marvel has had so many reboots, 10 rebrandings in the last 7 years.
Yikes.
So we're going to talk about
It's too many.
why
That's
we
way too
think
many.
they're going to do this. So are the relaunches necessary? What do we think?
Matt, what do you
Matt,
got to
go.
say?
I would say mainly no.
I agree.
Because DC has been killing it right now with sales, and they haven't done this. Like, they did the New 52, which brought in a lot of new readers, even though it really...
I mean, not new, but like...
Yeah, it brought in a lot of new readers, but it did really piss off, like, a lot of other, like, people that were currently reading. But then Rebirth came along, and
Rebirth's good. I like it.
it came along and it helped, like, old readers were still reading it and they didn't feel pushed away, while new readers were able to come on, like, so easily.
That's
Yeah,
Jackson.
that was
He's
me.
the new reader.
I am new
You've
because
been
of Rebirth. Yeah, Rebirth. I heard about Rebirth, and I had wanted to get into comics, and I heard that it was, you know, this was the right time to do it, and you know, now I started and I'm hooked, and it's just because they
So
did
it's
it right.
working.
So,
Yeah,
so
if
DC
they do it
is
right,
working.
yeah.
Well,
DC is doing
has
Rebirth.
only had 2 relaunches since 2011
them.
compared to Marvel's 10.
Yeah, Marvel does things like that.
So-
we got like what we have, Marvel Now, all new, all different. Marvel Now 2.0. Marvel Now, but with like the broken looking like logo, whatever.
There's too
And
many.
Then we had
They should at least change the name up a bit.
oh, and
Yeah.
then we had
We're just gonna
we had
change the font
more.
of
We
it.
had now we're all
We're
the way up.
starting in-
Yeah, we had Legacy
Legacy.
and Fresh Start.
Fresh Start starting in May. So, and that's not even a year apart. You made that statement before. It's Legacy started in September of 2017, and Fresh Start starting in May. So that's not even a year for all of these
Yeah.
comics to come out.
And they're all going back to issue 1, and that's the problem. Legacy it went and brought everything back to the original numbering, just like how Rebirth did. and with Marvel Legacy, like they did that. It was doing well, but now they're like, oh no, we need issue 1s because well, movies.
It's because of movies. It's literally Marvel's only rebooting just so that they can, because they know DC is killing the game with the comic book realm, but movie realm, they got it obviously.
Movies got Marvel, DC's got comics.
So they gotta invest in.
They gotta have those issue 1s for anyone that's going to see Infinity War, because also this whole relaunch with fresh start is happening right at the release of Infinity War.
Ooh.
How convenient.
Wow.
Marvel.
That seems like a great marketing strategy there. Do you think that it's mostly powered by Marvel, or is it Disney pulling the strings?
Okay. Unpopular opinion here. It's 100% Disney just trying to make money. And they know that they put a lot of money into buying the Marvel company. They know that they need to pump out as much as they can. That's why they created this giant universe of all these movies that we have. Now they're like, what else can we make money in? Oh, what about the thing that made these movies? Oh, we can do comic books. To me, it seems like Disney's like, all right, we want to pair up this comic book with this movie. Like, it's like a cocktail pairing with some dessert. We want this comic with this movie. You should read this and go watch this and give us your money for both.
A great example of that would be what they did with Inhumans. Because with Inhumans, because of the fact that that Disney didn't have the license to use like the X-Men and stuff, they basically pushed the X-Men to the side in the comics and didn't even
X-Men
care.
apparently.
Yeah, they didn't even care about the X-Men, which is very upsetting.
Very upsetting.
That makes me feel bad.
Yeah,
I love X-Men.
so what they ended up doing with the comics is they pushed the Inhumans like crazy just to prepare for this new show to be coming out.
And it trashed.
And it was awful.
It was awful.
They're putting out so much Inhuman stuff, preparing for that. Then it comes out and it's awful. And then immediately after that, almost everything Inhumans got canceled when it came to the comics. Everything. Dead.
And what does that tell you? They don't give. To me, that makes me think like they don't care about their comic writers. They don't care about like that staff that works on those comics, because it takes a lot of people. You have artists, you have writers, you have editors, you have things like that. And you just said, all right, you guys don't have a job now. They probably have other projects they work on, but you don't have this income for this thing because the show failed. The made-up thing that we made failed.
About your comics.
Yeah. Write this new character, you know, because we have this show.
Because the comics aren't bad. The Inhumans comics are not that bad. From what I've seen.
There's no
but
reason
the show
they
is
can just
awful.
keep going, you know, with the comics.
They just end up doing this stuff like all the time, and then they'll be like, oh, now we're gonna just push diversity in like crazy, but then they'll do it in a bad way,
Odd
like
ways.
like with Kamala, like with Miss Marvel, they did fantastic with her.
Kamala Khan is amazing. She's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, she is absolutely amazing. They did it right with her, but then you have see, I can't even remember her name. The girl that took over Iron Man's position.
Is Riri Williams, I think?
Riri Williams.
Yeah, Riri.
Yeah,
I've only seen it in print.
Yeah, she ended up taking over, and you could tell the entire time they just pushed that, not because she was going to be a lasting character or anything as Ironheart, but because they're just like, let's just kill Iron Man off for now, and he'll obviously be back later, but have her in there for a little bit, and then we'll get rid of her later. I mean, the only two diversity characters that I think they've actually really stuck with is probably, you know, Kamala and the new Ghost Rider.
I was about to say Ghost Rider. That's my stuff.
The new Ghost Rider's amazing.
Too.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, Miles
true.
has been around for ages, and that's because of Brian Michael Bendis's adopted like
I love
African
Miles.
children.
Ghost Rider, you can make like. You don't have to have the same person. You can make it like
Oh,
an
yeah,
ethnic role. There's
That's
a
one
lifelong.
Yeah, there are multiple Ghost Riders.
Multiple Ghost Riders, so it's just like you could do it.
Doesn't
It makes
have to
sense.
be-
It doesn't affect
It's like a Doctor Who effect. You can have multiple people in
Yeah,
positions.
Different
exactly.
people take on the title.
Right.
And I don't know. To me, it's a Disney's trying to market. Disney's trying to make money, but they also are. I'm hoping trying to encourage people. And I also, with the Inhumans thing, it's because they don't have the rights to it. They don't have Fox, the rights to X-Men, so they had to do something, in which Disney has already pissed me off with, like, the Black Panther thing, because Storm is originally with Black Panther, and that's not a thing.
Because they can't.
Because they
use
can't.
Storm.
So they kind of divorced them in the comics.
Yep.
So they forced a plot in the comics because Disney doesn't own X-Men.
Yeah.
And that makes me mad because I love Star.
And they did the same thing, like trying to mooch off of like the X-Men stuff when it comes to Fox, because they ended up, after the end of Secret Wars, they had previously killed off Wolverine, and then after Secret Wars they brought Old Man Logan from his dimension into the main Marvel universe, just so that way they had an Old Man Logan comic to use based off the movie. It's because like Marvel knows that issue ones sell the most every time, and then slowly comics like go down in sales. They want that initial boost every time.
Every couple of years, they want that initial
They want that
boost.
yearly.
Yearly, yeah. Not even yearly, apparently.
Yeah, they're trying to pull an EA on
6
us.
months.
Like with
I
the
would say they're trying to pull
They
an
want the
Activision.
microtransactions.
They're trying to pull an Activision.
Oh, they're trying to pull
release a Call of
Activision.
Duty every 6 months.
So,
oh, jeez.
as a new reader, does this turn you off to reading Marvel?
Yeah, absolutely. Like like, there's no reason for me to, like, number one, it's confusing to try and get into it because, like, you know, you were telling me earlier, they should have
The
issue
plot
1 be
lines.
like in the middle of a plot line.
Oh yeah, of course, because they won't like start from scratch or like you know start a new plot thread at those issue ones. Like with Thor, if you go from Thor to like Unworthy Thor, or like any of the other Thor books after that, it just keeps going with the same exact plot.
So, like you were saying, it's a renumbering, not a complete restart.
Exactly.
So
and it hurts new readers.
That's confusing for new readers because where do you start with that?
Yeah, like I haven't started reading because I feel like it's just going to be a hassle to try and figure everything out. So, like, what's the point? Plus, if they're just going to reboot it in another few months, then why try and get invested in these stories?
And get invested in the characters. Yeah, I 100% agree. It's like, why am I putting the effort into this Spider-Man or this Spider-Gwen? Or why am I putting the effort into this Thor and caring about this storyline and this plot if it's going to be never mind, that never happened. Here's a new thing.
Or maybe this did happen, but also here's some changes.
Yeah, like.
Or here we're just back to number 1, and it doesn't matter. It might as well be issue like 20 or something.
It's issue 75, but it's number 1.
Yeah, so that way you
It's the
know
number
people
one
can
of
get
its
tricked
kind.
every time.
Yep.
And then people won't know like what order to read these in.
And get confused, and that maybe that's why they see decline so fast, because people get confused and don't buy the second one.
Yeah.
Just that they just want that initial boost in sales every time, and right now those boosts are slowly deteriorating.
I mean, I don't blame them for the marketing, because the marketing, it's like you have the movie out, you have the comic out, like you want to relate it together so people can get interested in both. I completely understand it, but they fall flat sometimes.
It's upsetting that Marvel is not doing well in the comic verse, but they're definitely killing it in the movies. So I'll keep watching them. We'll all read DC, and it'll all be okay until Marvel figures its stuff out. That's about all the time that we have for today. Catch us next week on
We won't be here next week.
Not next week, the week after. Next week is spring break, and go ahead and follow us on social media. That's all the time we have, so we'll see you 2 weeks from now. Bye, guys.